Hi, today we're going to be learning about water, also known as H2O. And as we're learning about water, water is essentially the foundation of life. Every single cell needs it. Every single chemical reaction that every cell is going through has to do with water. We are all made up of water. So as we're learning about biology, we're going to learn about water a lot. So it's just a little foundation to learn about the water molecule. You have one oxygen molecule with two hydrogen. Some people say it looks like a little Mickey Mouse, if that helps you to remember what it looks like. There it goes. Okay, so the water molecule structure, again, you're going to have one oxygen, two hydrogen. So it is polar. So we already talked about how lipids are non-polar, but now we're talking about how water is polar. Polar, the definition of polar is a molecule that has charges that are unevenly distributed. So that means that you have a positive one side and a negative on the other. So it's like a magnet, basically, or like a battery even. So you know how like a magnet has like charges? So that's just like this. So and that's exactly what water is. It's a magnet to so many different other things. So your hydrogen is positive and your oxygen is negative. And because you have a slightly positive and slightly negative charge, that makes it polar. Also very important is it has a hydrogen bond. So in water, the hydrogen has a partial, and just so you know, that little sign right here means partial. So your hydrogen has a partial positive charge and your oxygen has a partial negative charge. And what this is going to do is going to cause a high attraction between water molecules. So the hydrogen is going to be highly attracted to the oxygen because negative and positive attract, just like in a battery or just like in a magnet. And actually even bonds in the oxygen nuclei. Okay, so you have your hydrogen bonds, also very important. So make sure you know that is polar and make sure that you understand that it has a hydrogen bond, which causes your water molecules to have a really strong high attraction between them. Okay, so now we're going to learn about the properties of water. So because of all those hydrogen bonds, it gives it all these crazy, really cool properties that is the center of life. The first one is called cohesion. So co means together. It's the attraction of molecules of the same substance. So we're talking about water, how water bonds to water, and I just showed you kind of what that looked like, just like this, right? So how water is bonding to other water. A single water molecule can bond up to have up to four hydrogen bonds at once. That means all those hydrogens. So you have two, they can all have four. That water molecules have that surface tension, and just think about like a spider walking on water, how it doesn't fall through. It's because there's so much surface tension, or if someone was like to jump off the Skyway Bridge, they would not probably survive because of the water tension at that altitude. Also, here's an example of a water bead right here. So that water tension keeps it that way. We'll do some activities to show you this. The next one is called adhesion. I love this picture because you can see the difference between cohesion and adhesion. I think adhesion, like it's sticking. So the attraction of molecules to different substances. And this is really a big part of life. Plants, for instance, couldn't survive without it. So water bonds and sticks with other substances. For example, the capillary action draws, so like the roots would draw the water up and through the leaves because it's like sticking to it. So water, obviously you have your cohesion. Adhesion is water sticking to other things. So water sticking to maybe the side of a plant, or any other, or like if you ever take a look, and we'll do this activity where you look at it in a graduated cylinder and it's bent. Temperature, so it moderates our temperature on Earth. Water has a high heat capacity. So what that means is you need a lot of energy to change the temperature. So I don't know if you know, but like the Gulf of Mexico will stay warm for a very, very long time, even after the winter or after the summer, because it takes a long time for it to cool off. It's just going to keep that temperature a long time. And that way it helps us to moderate our Earth's temperature. So another thing, so phase changes, remember when energy is taken from water, it will decrease in temperature and your water will expand and solidify to create ice. So that's just remember your phase changes, melting, freezing, and becoming a gas. Okay, so just remembering temperature moderation, water has a high heat capacity. Water is also a solvent. So if you take a look at this picture, the water is a solvent. anything else with a solute. So basically it's a substance that a lot of things dissolve in, right? So like a lot of like cooking, like if you're cooking, a lot of things, they require water because it's the perfect solvent. It will dissolve a lot of things. For instance, salt water, salt will be the solute and water is the solvent. Water's polarity gives it that ability to dissolve a lot of ionic compounds and other polar molecules. So again, the fact that it's so polar and it tracks so many molecules gives it that characteristic. Water and living things. So water makes up, so women, because we have less muscle, it's only 60% for us, 65% for men. But I think this picture is so cool. So 75% of your muscles, just eyes are pretty much all water. Your brain, kidneys, and lungs, make sure you're drinking your water every day. So living things are composed mostly of water. The human body is about 60% water and all cells take place. So I wanted to put this at the end because this is going to lead us to like the whole year, right? You're going to hear about water so many times. So yeah, so that's the end of it, I believe. Yep. So that's it. Very good, guys.